is probably all in part 2, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to part 2 of the struggle, the celibacy issue in relationships. We kept this thing rolling, so we're in part 2 now, people.
We gotta have a part 3. We might have a part 3.
This might be a serious.
So listen, when you brought up your sister, this is what God told me. Mm-hmm. When you enter into a relationship with someone that I have assigned for you, mm-hmm. I don't want you to get lost in them. I want you to be found in them. Okay? Because when you are lost, there is no stability, there's no structure, there's no organization. But when you are found, you are whole, you are complete, and there's like everything just comes together. I couldn't.
You don't even know how much of a word that is.
I'm sorry, I had to let that out. I couldn't hold it. I didn't want to interrupt. I had to I had to let it sit there. Do not get lost in the person that I have for you, but be found in the person that I have for you.
Ooh, that was for me too, because I'm gonna just put it out there. I am very cautious now, and sometimes I feel like I'm to the point where I'm overly cautious.
Yeah.
I have not been used to. I expected it, wanted, and believed it was possible though. Now, when I bring an issue to somebody, it is addressed. So when it happens, every time something like that happens, I just go, God, this is how I'm supposed to been being treated this whole time. So for me now, I believe it's impossible to really love somebody and be in love with them and not just have your moments every day. You be like, because I can think back on the former things and it'd be the smallest thing that has this. It may seem small to the outside world to me, but it really, when people say it's the small things, it really do be the small things, because small things require a level of humility. And a lot of us ain't humble. And I said us because I have my moments, because I'm human. They require a level of humility because you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. On part 1, y'all, I was talking about all right. I was giving y'all the list I was trying to give y'all the list of things I learned, some of the things I learned from being celibate, but these tangents the Lord keep taking us on. If we speaking it and spoken it as being said, it's because somebody need to hear it, or I needed to hear it, or she need to hear it, because a little piece of me heals every episode from something. A realization comes for me every episode. So I hope somebody gets this. Yeah. You don't even know how much she's just spoken to my whole family over there. She don't even realize. I just stopped waving my hand. There's so much unspoken communication that you need to learn. That's another thing I learned while being celibate. It's so many things that I learned just sitting by myself and being by myself and talking to myself, really, and talking to God. Like my body language. I would be sitting in the room by myself and I'm tense. I don't know why. I'm tense, relaxed. And then when I relax, my body relaxed, my face relaxed. Because I did hear a lot of, men don't do this though. Don't do this. Don't do this to me still. I smile a lot more, but we got to wear masks everywhere we go. So who the smiling really for? Jesus? You can't be giving words like that at this moment. I smile a lot more now, but I wear a mask. We have a mask ordinance in our, because Big Gretch, our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, call it Big Gretch. They made a rap song about it and everything. She don't play them games, so mask up or you can't come in here. In all establishments, and I gotta wear a mask all day at work. But I like, why am I so tense? And another thing, this is crazy. when you're sexually active all the time, and let me just throw that out there. Just because I'm not celibate anymore, that does not mean I'm some sort of sex fiend or sex demon or sex. That's not what's happening over here. It's just not what's happening over here. It's because I have stuff to do and a purpose and work to be done. I don't. That's just not that's not my everyday life. But one of the first thing I wrote was how much time I thought about sexual things. Like you don't realize how much time you spend and how you don't notice how many things are sexualized until that's not. I'll just be looking at stuff like, now I think I'm cute. I think I'm fine. Actually, I think I'm fine because I think cute is for puppies and I'm not a puppy. And it's some stuff that I wear that I like. Like I got on some ripped leggings right now, but they leggings. And other stuff I gotta be more conscious, but not so conscious about certain body parts. And I be looking at it like certain stuff just can't be helped. But now I will literally scroll my Instagram and be like, why are you naked? Like I don't even care. It could be somebody I'm following, somebody I know, a comedian, a model. It's a plus size model, and I like their clothes. But my first thought is, everybody naked on here. Like I scroll, everybody ain't nobody got clothes on my timeline. What? This is just normal. It has been normalized to me. It's normal now that everybody naked. Now I'm not a prude, but I just be like, everybody naked though. Like, so when you get with somebody, they don't have to. Part of one of the reasons I became celibate too is when I decided to not be celibate and to end my celibacy. It was such I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say anticipation, but it was more like it's a revealing, and it enhances the experience because you ain't seen none of this. You ain't seen none of this. You ain't even seen a little bit of it. But everybody naked. If you always naked, what is there to look forward to? You have a flap. You got a flap. You got this much clothes on. So you respect me. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm pick your toes up. I'm about to hurt somebody. Respect me. Now, men, just because a woman dresses a certain way, this does not mean that it negates you from having to have self-control. But, and we're going to throw this out there as a survivor of sexual assault and sexual abuse. It don't matter what a woman have on. That ain't, if she say no, then you need to stop. You still need to have self-control. She walk down the street naked. Okay, that's not her fault that you don't have self-control because they was raping nuns and they fully covered up. So I'm gonna just throw that out there. When the women had to walk around with the 99,000 petticoats on and the heavy things, and they got to get 17 layers out to get undressed to go pee, they were still getting raped in. So we're not gonna go there. What I'm saying is, ladies, I think Gloria brought this up. Like Chris Rock said, if you dress like a cop and you got handcuffs and a badge, don't get mad if I think you're a cop. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, ladies. At a certain point, you can feel confident about yourself. Because I've lost weight, losing weight. I had a certain kind of surgery done, and I was feeling myself. But it's a level to that where you need to stop. You need to stop. Because you shouldn't have to be on Instagram blurring out certain things because it's showing. Why is that a necessary? Why you gotta? Go
Can
ahead.
I?
Go ahead, Jalasoul, because I'm about to go off. Just,
Sorry.
I
Two
was,
things. Two things.
I was about to go somewhere.
The first one, the example and scenario that you gave, tame your flesh. Because if you do not harness that, if you cannot get that in line, you will always fall victim
Mm-hmm.
to serious consequences that you cannot take back.
Yes.
And then the second thing that I also wanted to jump on to is that I'm glad that we all have and I'm gonna bring this home too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that we have spiritual differences
Mm-hmm.
as far as like how we serve the God that we serve, even though there's one God,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the beautiful cultures I like to visit is the Islamic culture,
Mm-hmm.
especially the women.
Mm-hmm.
They are always covered.
Yes.
But the beautiful thing about it with those families, especially I'm gonna focus more on the husband.
Mm-hmm.
The husband is only granted the opportunity to learn, understand, and love the person that the woman is before even getting a chance to
Yes,
learn,
God.
understanding, and loving the physical parts of the woman. And it also goes back to us to this date. How do you expect a person to love you and treat you and respect you correctly when you're just giving them the physical parts of you?
Oh,
To
I seen it coming. I had the hand ready.
when you're only giving them the physical parts of you to just adore, fantasize, and basically fornicate, because they all of it takes place in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're not touching you, it's all in the mental. So whatever that you put is what you also receive. And you can't get mad at that because you're the one that's allowing it.
Whoop. Yep. Yeah. 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 Yep.
Because God gives us a choice. As much as He is in control and He has the whole world in His hands, I love that song. But we also have a choice. You have a choice in deciding whether if you want to be skimpy or if you want to be reserved and classy. Because remember, it's not just you that's wearing yourself out into the world. You're wearing your mother, you're wearing your father,
Woo,
and
come on.
you're wearing your whole tribe, the people that who were before you. So imagine you leaving your house.
And we black, so we wearing our race,
Exactly.
our ethnicity.
Exactly. Every day that you leave your house, you're up for an interview. And I'm not talking about getting a job. I'm talking about people meeting you for the very first time, or
Mm-hmm.
people visiting you, for people that know you for a long time.
Now, you can't
And
get too mad at the first impression of you. This is
exactly,
what you're giving.
exactly.
This is what you're
You
giving.
you teach people how to respect you based upon how you carry yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So until you can establish that, that's the only way you're gonna get respect.
This is why this is one of the fundamental principles, and I'm gonna make a whole video for that for y'all of why and how Queen's Realm became Queen's Realm. Um,
Hmm.
my brand, because I feel like, first of all, this is gonna sound like an oxymoron, or it's not gonna make any sense to people. I wanted it to be Queen's Realm because at the time when I made the name, I was taking notes. So the realm part came from Pastor Preaching, and he said, "Your realm is not rooted in reality."
Hmm.
I don't even remember what message that is, but it's in one of my notebooks. But that just stuck with me. Like, the plane of existence you're on, is that rooted in reality? Because the root word of reality and realm is real.
Hmm.
And then Master Christian preached one day about something can be real and not true.
Hmm.
And then I got the queen part because it was a long time ago when I didn't think highly of myself, and that showed in everything I did and how I treated myself and the relationships and stuff I got in. So celibacy was a way for me to help me respect myself, one. And I felt like the word queen and king get used too much, but I still made it queen's room because I want to give a definition of what I feel like a queen is supposed to be, of what a queen is and what a queen does. And I'm thinking about queens through history. Queens make silent big moves. You ain't know what Cleopatra was doing. You don't know what Nefertiti did, and you don't know what these women did. Just so terrible. They want to destroy their whole history. It's that powerful. But it's so powerful that even in trying to destroy their history and their lineage and things about them, we still know who they are. That reverence and respect has carried through thousands of years with pieces of history missing. To me, that's where my mind is when it comes to the queen thing. I don't mean, and we have royal ancestry because of the blood, and the blood I'm referring to, people, is the blood of Jesus. So we are kings and queens in that aspect. But that's how the name came, because it's like, it's certain things queens don't do. I don't remember a queen dressing or acting like this in history. I don't remember a queen doing this. A queen always had a game plan. She followed that game plan. She had a following. She had people respect her. Of course, there's always going to be people who don't want you to be the queen, king, and all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the moral side of it. Most of them are moral. We, there's going to be a science nerd somewhere. We're going to bring up Elizabeth Bathory. We're not talking about her. She's a psychopath. We're talking about well-adjusted, mentally stable people. Don't go there. And yes, I had a nerd moment. And if you don't know who Elizabeth Bathory is, bless her heart. She was special. She's a psychopath. Anyway, that's where that whole thing came. So in my mind, it's like, you naked on here, but you got Queen so-and-so. And that pastor was talking about you naked on Instagram like this, but you got a scripture at the bottom. What scripture this is? What part? What part this is? What part you on?
Man.
What part was you reading? I'm about to. Okay. I was talking about the queens. We had to take a little break. But I wanted to jump on something you said real quick, and I promise y'all, we're gonna be done with part 2 for now.
Yeah.
This might end up being a series because celibacy is a lot. It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot. But you was talking about how in the Islamic religion that the woman is covered up all the time. So you have to learn. You gotta. And a lot of some of the marriages are arranged.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So you have to. You do gotta get. You have to, because just because we married, that don't mean. I mean, y'all seen 90 Day Fiance. Just because we married today, that don't mean. Which I can't stand. I don't like that show. Period. Or Married at First Sight. That's the show I mean.
Yeah.
Them people don't know each other at all. That's not even arranged. They don't know their whole life that they're about to get married. They get married. They marry this person. They don't know them. And some of the people, it shocks me that we're married now, so we need to consummate this marriage. I don't know you though. Like, I don't know you. I don't know you. So when you said that about the women being covered up, I remember the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson, and I remember his son was in love with this girl. And the parents said he could stay the night. And they let him court. He asked to court the daughter, and he could stay the night. But to stay the night with the girl and to court and spend the night together, they sewed that boy up in a sack and sewed the sack to the bed. So y'all can get to know each other and be intimate and lay together, but you sold up in a sack. Like my family is still old fashioned to the point where I was engaged to be married, but I was already living with who I was about to marry. But when we came home, because I lived in a different state then, when I came home to visit, we couldn't sleep in the same bed. We couldn't sleep in the same bed. I don't care what you're doing when you're not here, but when you're here, and at my family, if you ain't married, you can't sleep in the same bed. Can't sleep in the same room. Where they sleeping? They gonna, or y'all must gonna get a hotel because you ain't sleeping under this roof at the same bed at the same. We not doing that. So that's a whole. I can go on and on about learning to respect yourself when you become celibate, because you could be doing things. I'm gonna just say from personal experience, it was some things I was doing and some behavior I was engaging in that I didn't even think was disrespectful till I became celibate. I didn't even think I didn't think nothing was wrong with it until I became celibate. Then I had to pay attention, because I said being able to pay attention is one of the things I learned from being celibate. I don't just mean to surroundings, I meant to me. I wasn't paying attention to how things made me feel after the fact. I only wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. I wanted that instant feeling, and we disregard the long-term effects of something we do temporarily. And I'm gonna have to stop because I said we was closing it out, and I feel myself. I was gonna go somewhere.
We can say that for part 3.
I was gonna go school. I was gonna go somewhere. I was gonna go somewhere.
So I was gonna add on to, but I was like, I'm gonna save it for our next one. Because we'll be here until the next day.
We're going to have to schedule some time. But well, I will end with this part too, is saying is that it's so many benefits from being celibate. No matter, like, everybody have their start. Your goal for being celibate changes while you're celibate. The longer you're celibate, what you're looking for, what you want to learn. So if you're celibate now, it gets harder and easier, if that makes any sense. She knows what I'm talking about. It gets harder and easier. So you just gotta be, when you decide to end it, because I'm gonna speak from that point. When you decide to end your celibacy, make sure that it's not something you fall into. I think I feel the way I feel about ending mine because I made a choice. I thought about it first. I went through the ups and downs. It don't need to be something you fall into, because I know people, this such and such and such, it should be natural. It should be, nah, not this. Not this. This like you said, this is it's a physical transaction. But the payment for the physical transaction is going to be a spiritual interaction. So you need to think carefully and choose wisely if you are going to end it. It's a lot of thought. And I know some people is probably thinking, well, you ended yours. Yeah, baby, but you don't know the thought that went into this. You don't know the processes. You don't know what I had to go through while these years of being celibate. I can give you my shoes, but they my size. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to say that, and I'm going to turn it over to Miss Jalasoul.
I'm not going to let this conversation go in for this one. I'm just gonna present this beautiful bullet point to save it for part 3. Your celibacy is like your savings account. Unless you have enough money to back you up without getting any overdraft fees or any type of things like that, I suggest for you not to touch it at all. Because the celibacy is not a checking account where you could dip and you know that there's something that's going to come back into your account. Celibacy don't work like that. Celibacy is literally like a savings account. You're preserving yourself for someone who God has ordained for you.
Mm-hmm. And I said I was going to be done, but I got to say that because I work at a bank, y'all, right? And she said the savings account. It's only so many withdrawals you can do from a savings account before it's converted
To a checking account. Okay?
It's only so many.
Mercy.
It's only so many. You have to have more stuff flowing in.
Yo, we need a part 3. I'm not.
Listen, because
I'm not.
we'll just end this here,
Yeah.
and I want to thank Miss Jalasoul for being a part of this today, because y'all don't understand the words y'all be getting. I hope somebody catch it. I hope somebody, because I was catching everything. You understand? Like I was Randy Moss. I caught every football of knowledge in the end zone. And I'm going to do the victory dance when I get the touchdown with the Lord. I got all the analysis. Listen, but that will conclude part 2 of this, because we done went into part 2. You know, yes, I got on the same outfit as in part 1 is part 2. As usual, I will put Miss Jayla Stowe's information down below in the description, because she let me just give her some flowers before we go. Can I give her some flowers, y'all? She is a very talented woman of color. You know, we buy black over here. It's Black Lives Matter all day, every day over here. I think it's a good time right now for you guys to comment, like, and subscribe. And I think it's also a good time to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. I'm just saying, it's a good time for that. You know, it's always a good time for that. But this lady is a woman of God. You heard all the word. She's a woman of the people, meaning that voice. Because I got a lot of people with anointed voices, whether they singing or rapping or doing spoken word. These voices is anointed, and I'm gonna need y'all to get into it. Hopefully, I can talk her into giving me a link to some of her music, and I can put that down there. I'm just throw that out there.
My God.
You better have a SoundCloud or something. If you don't, you better have one by the time this video come out, because I'm putting it at the bottom. And on part 3, because I'm gonna say it while we're recording. And on part 3, I might put in a song request that I feel like goes with the episode. We're gonna sing a little bit of it, because you know what I'm saying, we don't want the copyright strike. But I love y'all. God bless y'all. It's just Queen Things over here. And I'm gonna let her say bye before I close. It's part 2. This might end up being a whole mini series.
Listen, I want to say thank you again for having me on your platform. It is an honor and such a pleasure of just being able to talk to you, talk with you, and just listening to God as He pours into both of us.
Listen, He just took over the whole conversation.
Yes. And also too, I want to close out with just a little prayer. I just pray for everyone who is going through this COVID-19 that they are blessed 10 times over. Everything that they thought that they didn't have enough of, God has assigned it to you just enough to be able to transform whatever that was broken into something that is going to be beautiful and immaculate. And I know that by the time we get out of this pandemic, it will be nothing but entrepreneurs, boss women and boss men.
Yes, God.
Okay? Let me tell you something. God did not just allow this.
Okay, y'all.
know, I know that once we get out of this pandemic, it will be a game changer for everybody, and every fear that we thought that was very big for us will be now looked upon as very little.
Right.
And we're all gonna be overcomers of this. No doubt.
Yes, God, I receive all of that. And I want to thank you guys again for watching today. Wait for part 3, y'all. Just saying. Wait for part 3. Love
Okay.
you.